We rely on water truck. These are our lifelines to have water and have our sewage pumped out by trucks.
Tonight, a state of emergency declared in a community in northern Quebec due to water issues.
So as men, we really need to step up and be protective and advocate for more shelters, more places for women to have that resource when they come into the cities.
A moose hide campaign launches at an Ontario Friendship Centre.
Once you get a taste of dancing a little bit and you start to watch videos on the internet and hear all the drums and you want to come experience it for yourself.
And the 20th annual Manatawab Festival wraps up in Winnipeg. Good evening, I'm Dennis Ward. Welcome to APTN National News. We begin in Pervernatuk, a community in northern Quebec where a state of emergency was declared this past weekend following a fire that broke out at a residential property on Saturday. The home was destroyed, but no occupants were harmed. In a statement published by the Kativik Regional Government on behalf of Mayor Lucy Kalingo, she said the situation was handled with difficulty due to extreme weather and a limited amount of water. The community has been dealing with issues of water distribution for weeks. A state of emergency was declared largely due to a major break in the pipeline supplying water that happened back in March. The emergency declaration statement says the issue stems from a lack of adequate infrastructure and that Pervernatuk does not have capacity to alleviate the water supply crisis. Pita Atimi, president of Nunavut's legal representation, Makiavik, said an investigation will be launched into the matter.
We contacted the government of Quebec, contacted the Kativik regional government to find out what's going on. So there'll be an investigation what actually happened, because we want to know why this happened. Was it a shortage of funding? Was it a lack of vehicles? What happened? Because it's unacceptable that a community of 2,000 people doesn't have proper water service or sewage service into their homes, because everything has to be trucked in. We don't have aqueduct system like south of us. We rely on water truck. These are our lifelines to have water and have our sewage pumped out by trucks.
The water emergency has already closed the community's nursing station, leaving some patients having to be evacuated to the south. And the lack of access to drinking water has brought the school year to an early close. Aamjiwnaang First Nation near Sarnia, Ontario, is once again asking residents to exercise caution. The First Nation is continuously affected by high benzene levels from local petroleum plants. The community of 2,000 is located near an area in Sarnia known as Chemical Valley. Last fall, over 100 residents were evacuated from their homes due to benzene leaks. The high levels were detected Monday night and has forced the closure of community offices, including the band office. According to a notice posted on the community's Facebook group, members are also advised to avoid the playground and ball diamond areas. An update to a police-related shooting in Winnipeg that we first told you about in October 2024 that resulted in the death of a man. The Manitoba Independent Investigation Unit, or IIU, has concluded police followed protocol. The shooting was justified and no charges would be laid. And they've now closed the case. The incident happened on October 2nd, 2024. Winnipeg police responded to emergency calls at an apartment block in the city's north end. This video was captured by a tenant of the building. At the time, acting police chief Art Stannard said the male was a risk to the public as he was armed, swinging edged weapons and banging on tenants' doors. WPS also said a taser and firearm were discharged. Manitoba's IIU directed the Manitoba Police Commission to appoint a civilian director who then relied on evidence from one subject officer, 4 witness officers, and 4 civilian witnesses. In Manitoba, anytime a police officer deploys a weapon, IIU is required to investigate. The Dela Council in the community of Lower Post in northern British Columbia is enforcing a community lockdown to curb rising violence and drug activity. The Casca community of 280 people is located about 10 kilometers south of the BC-Yukon border. Only residents of Lower Post, their immediate families, and designated employees are allowed into the community at this time. Unknown vehicles will be stopped and directed to leave. And residents who host known drug dealers or violent persons could lose their housing. Deputy Chief Harlan Schilling says there is no immediate threat to public safety, but the lockdown is a proactive measure to help make the community safer.
Even just the notice, putting the community that, there are eyes out there, not just by chief and council, but by every community member, that, if there are illegal activities happening, that there are eyes on you. We are reporting license plate numbers, suspicious activity, and really working hand in hand with the local RCMP detachment to do what we can as people that just want a safer community.
The lockdown will remain in effect until further notice. To the wildfire situation now, and more than 200 firefighters, including 100 firefighters from British Columbia, are continuing their battle against wildfires in northwestern Ontario, as more than 800 residents of Wabaseemoong Independent Nation have been evacuated. Wabaseemoong is about 100 kilometers northwest of Kenora. It's made up of 3 main communities. Most of the evacuees were flown to Niagara Falls, with a couple dozen sent to Winnipeg. As of today, Cruz have installed sprinklers in the community to keep the fires from spreading to homes. On Sunday, Wabaseemoong Chief Waylon Scott said the fires were less than a kilometer away from the community. Fire crews continue to fight the large Kenora 20 fire, putting out hot spots. Much of their focus is on the west side of the Malaki Lake, but they are worried that high winds will fan the flames and make matters worse. Chief Scott says Wabaseemoong has experienced 3 evacuations and 6 emergencies since 2019. Meanwhile, some relief coming out of Manitoba this morning, where more residents in Lac du Bonnet have been given the go-ahead to return home. Though now under control, crews continue to extinguish the fire that has destroyed 28 homes and took 2 lives. There are still 3 wildfires in the eastern part of the province that remain out of control near the Manitoba-Ontario border. The clock is ticking to avoid what could be the second Canada Post strike in just 6 months. The union, representing 55,000 workers, has issued a strike notice, and operations could be shut down by the end of the week. A work stoppage would seriously impact residents and businesses who rely on Canada Post to deliver 2 billion letters and 300 million parcels a year. A 32-day strike during the peak holiday shipping season last November and December left millions of parcels in limbo and created a massive backlog. Both Canada Post and the Canadian Union of Postal Workers say a strike would deepen the company's already grave financial situation. Well, we'd like to hear what you think about another postal strike or anything else. Here's how to continue the conversation. If you have a story you want to share, you can send us an email to news@aptn.ca. To read and watch our stories, you can visit our website, aptnnews.ca. You can also find us online on your favorite social media sites, including TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. Follow APTN News to join the conversation and see our latest stories. Still to come tonight, we'll take you to Moosehide campaign events in Sault Ste. Marie and Vancouver's downtown east side. Stick around. Welcome back. With Indigenous women and girls experiencing disproportionate rates of domestic violence, the Moosehide campaign aims to address the problem by engaging men to take action. A campaign launch and march recently took place at the Sault Ste. Marie Indigenous Friendship Centre, and our Mike McDonald was there.
Domestic violence is a community issue.
A small group of people marched in support of the Moosehide campaign, which is a day to reflect, learn, and commit to ending gender-based violence and is centered on the role men can play to achieve that. Earlier, people gathered at the Indigenous Friendship Centre for presentations on gender-based violence. Corey McLeod runs the Indigenous Friendship Centre's Kije Anishinaabe Neen program, which reconnects Indigenous men with their culture.
Seeing how the colonialism, the residential schools, the taking of the land, being treated as subhuman has had its impact in the families, the women and children, and obviously the men. The men have forgotten their role, and the men are starting to pick up their roles today. And in doing so, they need to pick up the culture.
A square of moose hide is worn as a symbol of a person's commitment to safety and respect for women. McLeod says many Indigenous women fleeing abuse make their way to the city from the reserve and often face challenges getting help.
Those supports aren't there, that leaves them very vulnerable. So as men, we really need to step up and be protective and advocate for more shelters, more places for women to have that resource when they come into the cities. And nations need to really step it up on their prevention for domestic violence and within their own nations, within their own reserves.
Stand up within me, stand up and be free. Free from pain, free from shame.
Rebecca Wabigoon was among those taking part in the Moosehide campaign march. Wabigoon's song is deeply personal, and she felt it was appropriate for the day.
My younger brother and I, we wrote it together on one day. We just seen my journal notes and decided to put a little tune and melody to it. The song resonates with the today is, well, it says to stand up and be free from pain and free from shame, so it speaks for itself.
According to data from Stats Canada, around 14% of Indigenous girls reported experiencing physical and sexual abuse before the age of 15, while domestic violence rates are 3 times higher for Indigenous women than non-Indigenous. Mike McDonald, APTN National News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Now a story on a nonprofit group on Vancouver's downtown east side that helps the community in a big way. APTN's Tina House has more.
You come off the elevator, you'll come into our reception area. You'll be greeted by our lovely receptionist. This is our lounge area where people that we support come and wait for their counselors to come and get them. We have a meeting room in here where we hold a lot of our staff meetings.
Watari, which means little bridge, was created in 1986 and has 2 locations based on Vancouver's downtown east side. Heather Scarf is the executive director and says she is proud of what the organization does.
We have Sanctuary Health, where we assist women and children and families that are undocumented or have precarious status. We help them with all kinds of supports there. We counsel and support women and children as well with those that are fleeing domestic violence. We have a health and wellness center at another location on 320 Alexander Street. That's our wellness hub and our food hub. So we love food. Food is our love language. We send out thousands and thousands of meals from that location.
And it's a busy day here at Watari's commercial kitchen, where over 300 meals a day are made for residents nearby who have mobility issues and need nutritious meals delivered to them. Every week, they also give out hampers of groceries to those that need a little extra help, including a program to help migrant farm workers.
We educate them, we support them with needs, we support them with counseling, because it's so important to take care of the people that prepare the food that goes on our table. So we make sure that we take care of them as well. We go out to about 80 farms weekly. And we also support with judicial system supports with downtown community courts.
Watari offers a drop-in center where clients can get a meal, have a shower, and do their laundry. Sharing circles led by elders is also a big part of what they offer. And tonight, they're holding an event to honor the Moosehide campaign, which raises awareness to stop domestic violence.
This organization employs staff, volunteers, and peers that all have the same heart. We all walk in love. We all have a helping hand that extends to every need. We have diversity and inclusion, and we have dignity and respect for every person that walks through our door.
Tina House, APTN National News, Vancouver.
Good work being done there. Before we go to the break, our Yellowknife video journalist Bruce Dela Cruz has a sneak peek on what he's got in store for us later this week.
Hi there. Behind me, I'm working on a story featuring Olivia Chislett, who is a throat singer and multimedia artist from Iqaluit, Nunavut, who performed with local folk and bluegrass artist Lester Slade here in Yellowknife. Now, later on this week, listen in as we talk about her journey to become an accomplished throat singer and how, despite decades of colonial suppression, throat singing is making a modern-day comeback.
Welcome back. Time now for our photo of the day. And Heather Crow had just finished some kayaking at the Collingwood Paddling Club, located in Collingwood, Ontario, naturally, and captured the calm along the water under a clear sky. Thanks for sending that in, Heather. You can send your photos to share@aptn.ca for the chance to be featured as our next photo of the day. Now let's take a look at Wednesday's weather forecast. Starting on the East Coast, cloudy and 8 in Charlottetown, 15 in Halifax. 2 with snow in Kuujjuaq, cloudy and 5 in Nain. 18 with showers in Montreal, rain and 11 in Chibougamau. 17 with cloud in Sault Ste. Marie, showers, and 16 in Ottawa. 17 in Thunder Bay, 16 in Sioux Lookout. 16 in Thompson and God's Lake, 15 in the Pas. 19 in Winnipeg, cloudy, and 13 in Dauphin. 10 with rain in Regina, showers, and 12 in Saskatoon. 12 with rain in Meadow Lake, showers, and 15 in La Ronge. In northern Alberta, rain and 20 in High Level, cloudy, and 16 in Fort Chipewyan. 12 with showers in Edmonton, rain, and 18 in Lethbridge. 16 with rain in Vancouver, 15 in Victoria. 13 with rain in Prince George, showers, and 14 in Smithers. 11 in Old Crow, 14 in Whitehorse. 17 in Yellowknife, 16 in Norman Wells. 2 in Sax Harbor, 8 in Paulatuck. 3 in Chesterfield, 2 in Whale Cove and Baker Lake. -4 with snow in Resolute, 1 above in Iqaluit. Every year, thousands of people from across Turtle Island and beyond come to Winnipeg for the Manatawab Festival. Over the weekend, they celebrated 20 years of the powwow-centric event. Sav Jonesa was there and says after 2 decades, that mission is still being accomplished.
Thousands came out for the 20th anniversary of the Manatawab Powwow Festival. Jingles, drums, and singing rang throughout Exhibition Hall at Assiniboia Downs in Winnipeg. Tiny tots to energetic elders took to the dance floor and sidelines in celebration. Even puppets had a good time despite the cold May-long weekend weather.
We were asked over here to come over here for the 20th anniversary. Then we got on our tent and then we packed it up and got on our canoe and then we came over here. And then we said, okay, holy smoke, so what do we do here?
I was going to bring the snow, but it got cold.
So we told the snow, come over here. So we wanted to see what kind of people there are here.
Awesome dancers, a lot of dancers from all around North and South America.
There were a few dozen competition categories and more than 800 dancers registered. Owen Mayo was one of them. He's already danced in Florida, California, and New Mexico this year alone.
It's quite awesome, you know. A lot of my friends have talked very highly about the powwow, and it's a very good vibe out here. So it's awesome to come experience it for the first time. Just something that I guess I've wanted to do for quite a long time, you know. Once you get a taste of dancing a little bit and you start to watch videos on the internet and hear all the drums and you know, you want to come experience it for yourself. So it's quite special to actually be able to do this now.
People come from all over Turtle Island and beyond to show off their moves, but with a roster that full, not everyone was able to. Arlen Medicine has been dancing for 55 years.
Trying to register online, they canceled the registration form. Got here 15 minutes late, couldn't even register for that. Coming from Bemidji, Minnesota, so yeah. Quite a ways to come travel and get the door slammed on me.
Anyone and everyone came to have a good time in the spirit of community and self-expression. Now a Manitowabi staple, Powwow Pitch commenced their 4th year at the festival, searching for Indigenous entrepreneurs to support. Thousands of dollars in prizes went out to those pitching how their business would prosper with some financial help.
There's a certain magic when you're at a powwow where entrepreneurs already are. Like all the vendors, they're all entrepreneurs. They just don't like call themselves that. So we're trying to change that. And there's just like a magic that happens when everybody's in the same space. Everyone's nervous. The judges are nervous. Everybody's just like, so it's a little bit chaotic, but all fun.
Sisters Tanis and Rael Smoke were contenders for the top $5,000 prize. Growing up in a family who loves board games, starting their business Nina Waste Events was a no-brainer.
It's just a wonderful experience. There's a lot of hard work put into this, and it's a good opportunity for entrepreneurs.
After our interview, they were announced first place winners and will use the money to grow their event business into Indigenous wedding decor. They say they're thankful for the way community comes together at Manatawab Festival.
It brings, spirit back into everybody's hearts, gathering, hearing the laughing aunties all over, and then just seeing everyone in the regalia. Like, I haven't been to a powwow in a while, and it just makes your heart feel good again.
After 2 decades, it's clear the spirit of Manatawabi is still going strong. Sav Jonesa, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
Thanks for that, Sav. Some great interview subjects there, and a big congrats to the Smoke sisters. That's all the time we have for your APTN National News for this Tuesday. Of course, for news anytime, you can visit our website, aptnnews.ca, and be sure to join Creason here at 1 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow for your first look at Wednesday's news. I'm Dennis Ward. Marcy McGuitch, thanks for being with us. Stick around. Face to Face is next. Have a great night.